Hi wrestling fans, thanks for clicking on the Reddit D Rose report. I thought old William Shatner was kind of funny last night, but yeah, that's about it. Okay, here's all I've got to say. I've got some news, but I mean, this is what I got to say. How can a rated R superstar be on a PG rated show? Alright, and do we now have a new wrestling hold? Have you noticed the major hold on Monday night's Raw was? It's the old jacket over the head and then beat the crap out of somebody. I thought that was odd just to do something like that. But anyway, and I hope the creative team can come up with a better storyline for Bret. Maybe they're getting towards something, but man, it's him getting beat down every week. It's already gotten old to me. So anyway, I'm just suspecting. Here's what I'm forecasting. Batista and maybe some more is going to be aligning themselves with Vince. Remember back in the 80s and 90s? Now Bret, he's going to have to get his crew together for protection and his backup to protect him, you know, against Vince and his crew. So would it be the Hart, legacy thing, or is it going to be, you know, some other people? All right, here's what happened when the show went off last night. John Cena came out and made the save for Bret, and he ran. Vince went running off, and Batista too, I guess. And then Sheamus versus Cena was, believe it or not, and it was for the title too. It was a dark match for the main event. Anyway, Batista interrupted and killing Cena with the steel steps and beating him down, and then Batista left, and the show ended with Cena getting up and cleaning house with Sheamus. So that's what we missed. You know, anymore, I've got a lot of you clickers left messages on the comments that didn't think too highly about the pay-per-view. And you know, anymore, the Monday show and even the Friday show is just as entertaining as the pay-per-view. That's not supposed to be right. Last night, after TMZ posted a report about Hurricane Helms, remember what the deal him and Jericho got into last week? They found Soma last week on Hurricane, which is a muscle relaxer. It's either a relaxer or a painkiller, one or the other. I haven't taken one yet today. But anyway, they found some of that on him. But as long as he's got a prescription, he's in good shape. He can have a ton of them. Anyway, Chris Jericho wrote the following on his Twitter after TMZ came up with that. Said that this just in, TMZ charged with beating a dead horse and grasping at straws. There was a report over the weekend saying that Hurricane Helms was being kept home from WWE TV tapings this week. Helms noted on his Twitter account that he was driving to Memphis, Tennessee, the site of tonight's SmackDown ECW taping. So he was driving that way. I don't know whether he made it or not. I haven't seen any. Well, they're taping SmackDown tonight. Anyway, during WWE's Raw chat on their website last night, there was a fan poll about WrestleMania 2010. The choices fans would vote on for where they would like to see the event were. I don't know why they always are like a year behind on WrestleManias. But anyways, actually going to be in 2011. Would you rather see it in Louisiana Superdome, New Orleans, or Metrodome, Minneapolis, or Carrier Dome in Syracuse, Rogers Center up in Toronto, or Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis? Apparently, they never say anything about the results yet. So as soon as I get the results in, I'll let you know. NASCAR driver Carl Edwards is going to be hosting next week's Raw, by the way. And WWE website points out that how good friends Edwards is with Cena. I would be too if I knew him. Either one of them. Alright, this year's Royal Rumble match was the third shortest Rumble ever in just over 49 minutes long. The 1988 and 95 Rumbles were the two shortest. Somebody just sits around with a clock and times it, I guess. The original ending to the 30-man Battle Royal on last Sunday was Edge eliminating Chris Jericho to get the win. WWE decided to finish and have Edge eliminate John Cena last. F4W Online says the Diva title for Gail, Kim, and Maurice was planned for last night's Raw, but for some unknown reason, it never happened. No word yet whether the match would take place, but it's likely to take place before the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Yesterday's WrestleMania 27 press conference, Vince McMahon talked about how the city of Atlanta has such a great wrestling tradition and noted that he wrote some history there. Presumably he's talking about the WCW deal. However, Vince never took a jab at Ted Turner or WCW. Vince appeared later on a local radio station where he was asked by the host if it gave him satisfaction coming to Atlanta because of his rivalry with Turner, and Vince said that it hadn't even crossed his mind. It's getting deep. F4W also online said that while most visitors and guests were barred from WWE's Royal Rumble pay-per-view on Sunday night, former WWE and TNA star Johnny Swinger was backstage seeing friends. I guess they probably get too many, old wrestlers, not old wrestlers, but just wannabes backstage. Wannabe again, too. Recently released WWE superstar Eric Escobar. He was now working for a WWC promotion in Puerto Rico. Decision to add MVP in the Miz for United States title on Sunday's Royal Rumble was made late in the day before the pay-per-view even began. Just not too long before it began. The plan was to have the match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, but decided not to have it and then have it at the Rumble. Wasn't that nice? An interesting situation about WrestleSlam convention in England has happened, and several WWE talents were stopped by immigration officials as they entered the country this weekend and were turned away. Apparently, someone called the county officials and said that terrorists were sneaking into the country under the names of wrestlers. They are the wrestlers. Anyway, Bushwhacker Luke, Typhoon, remember him? Molly Holly, Mr. Fuji, Nikolai Volkov, and the Barbarian were interviewed by officials about their entry into the country. I'd question all them people too, man. Woo. And then were sent back home. Promoters of the convention were offered refunds to the fans and complimentary VIP tickets to the next event. Terry Funk, Howard Finkel, and others who made it into the country said they were going out of their way to make everything up to the fans that they could make up. Kevin Nash recently filmed his first love scene with a woman's wrestler, April Hunter, for indie movie Ultimate Beach Death, or Ultimate. Hey, I'll get it right here in a minute. Ultimate Death Match, Part 3 in Portland. Nash said on his Twitter account that the scene was beyond uncomfortable. Apparently, he hadn't made too much love to women or wrestlers or women wrestlers. Wouldn't be uncomfortable with me. Nash noted on his production finishes in 90 days for the movie, and also features Abyss, by the way, Tommy Dreamer and Shane Douglas, Al Snow, and some others. Nash will be filming another movie in March called Wicked Ways. Shane Helms, or not Shane Helms, but Gregory Helms. Remember that? Shane Helms? Anyway, Gregory Helms was arrested along with Chris Jericho, like I was telling you last night, for public intoxication, and was in possession of, I guess here it is, muscle relaxer, according to police that TMZ obtained a copy of, I guess, of the report. The report also said a search of Helms's purse, anyway, revealed one white round pill. Cops said the pill found in his possession was a Soma, which is a generic version of a muscle relaxer, Carazopro or something like that, and a Schedule 4 narcotic. Found it in his purse. Maybe that's where he keeps his cape at. I don't know. Yeah, I'm about out of time too. Anyway, the report also states that Helms told the cops he had a prescription for the pills, but were unable to prove it at the time of his arrest. Cops did not pursue charges against Helms for the possession of the narcotic. I probably would have went ahead and took it. To get a cope, I'll get rid of it. Hey, check back later. If anything goofy happens, I'll be on here later with an updated report. I gotta go.